Welcome people to the Supreme Commander Setons Pro 4v4 game. My name is Kenosis and without any further ado we're gonna dive right into the action. And that's right, the front players in this game, Shinobu and Darkim, are already shooting at each other and at the same time reclaiming. Gonna see in a minute who's going to get out of this on top, who's going to get the most reclaim out of this. Units already streaming in from both sides. One island has been taken already by When Day Breaks and the other island by Gorizo Man. In the meantime, Oni Sneed has been trying to bomb some NGs over here. And a little drop from Gorizo Man is on its way. And it looks like he wants to go for a drop over here. It's going here, so he's going for a for a factory build, but then he sees that Nexus is onto his transport, and that gets taken out of the sky. He follows with his own interceptor, but it's to no use. Going back to the middle, Darkim still just reclaiming like nothing is happening. Tried to box a little bit back, kills of an engineer from Shinobu. Another engineer from Darkim is building T1 point defense, trying to establish a nice front base. In the meantime, Shinobu is sending his artillery, light artillery, and Darkim tries to avoid it. Shinobu has lost the most health in the meantime. See who's on top if we're talking mass reclaim. Need the reclaim please. Supreme scoreboard. Nope, he doesn't want to. I'm sorry guys. It must be a bug or something. Anyway, Darkim has been losing a lot of health now too. He is half his health bar. Shinobu walks into the water. A lot of Zuis, which are firing RT shells towards him. He doesn't want that and he walks back a little bit. He's building a land factory for some close by front reinforcements. So that they're going neck and neck, toe and toe. Look at that big plasma fire arc, that overcharge, which takes out sometimes 1 to 3 or 4 units at a time. Depends how much clumped they are. Let's see what's going on. The air players' bases. Nothing much. A T2 power generator. And already a T2 power generator for Frenchies, and he is building already his second one. In the meantime, Shinobu is just taking a T1 mass extractor, hanging a little bit back and going T2. Shinobu says that pigeon is too early. Give when I ask for it. He thinks that Frenchies doesn't have enough mass to build that pigeon. He says that he has 3 already. And he does. 1, 2, 3. That is a lot indeed. But I think they must have communicated earlier on to share 1 or 2. I think Shinobu wants it because of his upgrade. The more power he has, the earlier he can finish it. Exactly, that is what Frenchies has done. It's only 15 seconds now, so that's going really fast. I think both players have almost the same unit count. It's quite the mix. Zuis, tanks, scouts, as you should have. Darkim has a lot of scouts, so that's not much firepower, but you do have sight maybe that could be a little bit more tanks. Let's see what they're doing. Factories. Zui's just Zui's tanks, and here and there a scout for Shinobu. And Shinobu is on nano repair now. And he's also under attack by a beacon class frigate from When Day Breaks. He will be not happy about that. That's I think 5 or 6 units dead. Darkium sends in his T1 spam. Fight goes on, my goodness. How much spam has already died here? Well, it's quite a mass field. In the meantime, there has been a drop for Sneed. He is making a sneaky naval base over there. Let's see if When Daybreaks can see it. No, he can't. It's gonna be fun, I think. This T2 power generator still belongs to Shinobu. And I mean, man, he is making good use of it. Made a nano repair upgrade and now he's going for gun. That will be a beast of a commander in a, well, 10 seconds actually. Let's see if Francis is actually behind. In relation to Wawa Wiwa. I don't think he is much. It's like 10 mass income per minute. Oh my goodness! Shinobu has to run for his life. There's only 1k left. I mean, he does have T2 and Nano, but it's getting a little low, and he almost did beneath the water. 700 left. Now he's microing, or he's alive. A overcharge from, oh my goodness, from Darkim. 700 health left, and he gets out of range. Seems. Oh man, he escaped. That was really close. Francis is screaming, "Don't die, please. We invested in you." And that's true. Francis gave him that T2 reactor. A little bit behind, and he can't afford to letting Shinobu die. I think actually Shinobu had to cancel the upgrade earlier on. I swear he was doing that before. Oh man, he is getting his health back so hard. He's on 4k now. And he just sends in his commander. He wants to have the vets, I'm sure of that. Look at how much tanks he could kill. He's got the range, he's got the nano, he's got the T2. In the little health buff that T2 gives. Darkim doesn't have an upgrade at all. He's at 12,500 K. Shinobu is on 15.5k, so that's a big difference. Darkim, no, he walks back. He shouldn't do that. He doesn't have regen, doesn't have T2. He's going to the 1k mark. He gets a vet, 2k, back to 1k. Oh my goodness, RT on him, and Shinobu just doesn't stop, and Darkim explodes in a nuclear ball of fire. Look at that. Shinobu with 4k left, but with a big regen, just walks forward. A 1-star commander now. That ship from When Day Breaks has been killing his spam relentlessly, but that doesn't bother him. He just marches forward. Already seeing some NGs turn up here. They're gonna be very thankful to get this mass field. That's exactly what Shinobu can put into upgrading his mass factories. In the meantime, Sneed has been just absolutely obliterating the one naval factory over here. One 3 T1 vessels get destroyed as easily as that factory over there. A second one is exploding. A T1 frigate coming out of the factory immediately dies. It's, that's a sad story. The belly is visible, not good. He's already got a destroyer, which is just well, helping to, from a range, destroy the T1 frigates. He sends in a bomber to kill off some engineers, no build power. In the meantime, when Daybreaks builds a row of torpedo launchers. That's not good if you have 4 or 5. Really adds up, but the second one never gets to finish. And it seems like he's a little bit surprised. I mean, he hadn't scouted it for like 5 minutes ago and it's still not scouted, so it's, French is sent in his Coronas, his air, to kill off some torps, I think. Wawa sends his own ASFs, but French is already long gone. And now the main naval base for when day breaks is, well, just getting overrun by the T1 naval spam. I just think he thought, well, my enemy isn't making any T1 spam, so I can just go for upgrading my maxes. Let's see how they're doing eco-wise. Yeah, that's it. Look at this, the mass difference. Sneed just made put a lot of mass in this base over here. Oh my goodness, it's Shinobu being defeated by Nexus. It's by the T2 point defenses here. Shinobu just overstretched there. He thought I can blow that. Actually, his explanation is that he had to manually target units, no priority mode. And Nexus just made use of his shield, built 3 or 4 T2 point defenses, sent in spam, and even the big commander of Shinobu on his T2 gun upgrade, and also the nano. It just didn't help at all. Now, when Daybreaks is under attack, Wawa sends his T3 ASFs, and only when Daybreaks has some T2 Tor bombers here lying in wait, but now he's trying to kill them with his commander, and he does kill 1 or 2. Then again, the T2 cruiser and destroyer here are very dangerous. They have such a big range. Let's see, it's quite big range. If they bring it in here, they could kill off a lot of stuff. And when Daybreaks just keeps avoiding, just keeps microing to avoid the hardy shells. Well, in the middle, Sneed and Nexus are just sending their spam, just going at each other. Most of this has been reclaimed in the meantime by Sneed. Tor bombers sent in by when Daybreaks get killed off by the ASF Frenchius. Still, it's not enough to kill the little group of T2 units here. He's standing besides a T2 power generator. That's never good. And Daybreaks, yeah, he loses like 1k health by doing that. He doesn't bother. Makes his shield. I think he wanted to protect it by all means. He wants to build a shield right on top of it. Builds another shield beneath it. He wants to protect that. He wants to build another reactor on top of it. That is not as costly as building Another one. All new. And now Wawa is making T2 torps. Let's just count the ASF difference here. It's 48 for Francis and that's 50 for Wawa. That should be a win for Wawa. Let's see what happens in a minute. In the meantime, when Daybreaks manages to defend his base here, he just built 2 shields in front of it. Now he has too few power. Oh, he's just really building a new one. I would just walk a little bit back and build the T2 power generator on top here, but I think he's just too busy with microing. He sends in his Auroras and he has been killing off some T1 ships from Sneed. Sneed escapes though with his cruisers. In the meantime, a battle is going down. ASF from Francis and Wawa. And remember that Wawa had the upper hand when it comes to numbers. But Francis just seems with every turn to get behind Wawa's ASFs and he absolutely obliterates them. He has 18 left. That's ridiculous. Francis says wasn't even watching. Now that's big talk, but it is a big win, so he deserves to say that. In the meantime, when Daybreaks getting really creative, just made a T2 land factory here with more T1s, made some blazes, T2 blazes. Actually, it's a good moment that he did that. Sneed was going to send him in his own light artillery. I think that's easier to kill with amphibious land units than with T1 frigates, so some salt going down for Francis. In the meantime, the T2 destroyers from Sneed are killing off the rest of When Daybreak's island. When Daybreak's just reclaiming what he can get, what he can reclaim. Sneed is on 230 or 80 when it comes to mass. It's spiking a bit. Must be assistance related. When Daybreak's, I think he has lost some mass income. It's not surprising, since he's lost 3 T2 mass extractors. I mean 4. Still some torping going on. When Daybreak's sending in his own torps. These are getting killed by Francis's air, but Wawa's lying in wait with a new force. Let's see how that goes in a minute. In the meantime, Nexus has brought in his commander. Just flew it in from over here. He's upgrading it to a tactical missile. Building a SAM just in case somebody wants to snipe him with torps. And this is the reason, the torps for Gorizo Man. I don't think Gorizo Man had seen him. No, he hadn't. And now Nexus can just safely send in tactical missiles after Gorizo Man's base. Man, these things are just being produced so fast. The Nexus is on of the biggest mass income I think there is. Oh no, maybe Gorizo Man even has more, or they're going neck and neck. So anyhow, he is losing fast over here. Also thanks to that battle cruiser that Nexus sends in. He also sent in every T1 unit he had. He's just streaming them in from here. In the meantime, he is killing off the island mass income for Gorizo Man. Look at this, one after the other. that just kills off a poor T1 NG. Maybe that's a little too much, you know, a tactical missile for just one T1 engineer. I think that was a misclick. Some bulwarks. Also for Nexus, that's when your UEF, you can build those nice T2 shield boats. Look at this mass field. Don't see any engineers yet for Nexus, but I can imagine if you drop 5 or 6 there, that would be nice. It's a T3 battleship for Grizo Man, and or T2 destroyers that are mopping up these T2 T1 frigates. Oh, the battle has not been won yet for Nexus. In the meantime, a battle goes down between French's and Wawa. French's in big pursuit. Wawa turns around, he gets behind French's, his ASF, that's a good turn. And again, look at this, that must be a win for Wawa. He has restored his good name. Don't know if he had one, but if he, well, had one, if he didn't have one, he has definitely restored it, so air goes to team 1 now. In the meantime, Sneed is streaming in his T1, standing in his T1 artillery, and to kill off a T1 naval factory and throw some artillery rounds at this freshly built Tempest for when day breaks. Nexus just taking the opportunity to get the mass he can from this mass field. He doesn't care if engineers die. Sneed has dropped a few T1 engineers. He's so busy with microing over here that he hasn't been able to give them some orders, but that will come in a little bit, I think. Say T2 naval factory, he hadn't had no chance to go to T3 yet. This one is T2 naval 2. He's killing off some redundant factories here and putting all that nice mass into upgrading to T3. In the meantime, Wawa Man, I mean Wawa is sending in, oh yeah, I could call him Wawa Man, why not? Wawa is sending in his T2 torpedo bombers, more and more every time, also sending T2 gunships. And, well, he has an air advantage, you know, so why shouldn't he? I think that's a good decision. Soon as you have advantage, is it in air or navy or whatever, you just make use of it. That forces Frenchius to send in his own ASFs, but he forgets some. He wants his teammate Sneed to only make cruisers, and Sneed doesn't have much cruisers indeed. That's lucky for Frenchius. He is able to kill off some torps here because Wawa hasn't been watching. But soon he comes in and the battle will be decided in favor of Team 1 for sure. And that is exactly what happens. The Nuke scouted. What is he saying? Nuke? I hear something about a nuke. In the airbase maybe. Oh my goodness, there it is. It's also almost loaded. What is this? 95%? Is there SMD in the enemy base? Not here. Mostly players build one here under shields. The air player maybe. I don't think he has one. Oh, there it is, but it's not loaded by far. He's prioritizing it though. Has it been scouted? It is scouted actually, so he must have seen that. Pinging a T3 spy plane over it. And there it goes, the nuke. It's rightly on top of Wawa's airbase, and he knows what's coming. So he walks to the left, sends his NG, splits up his NGs. Still producing a bomber. And torps, T2 torps by the mass. And by the minute, more T2 torps by the minute. Look at this group. That's going. Oh my goodness, needed here. If Wawa has scouted him, no, he hasn't. Look at this. That's close, but is this nuke SMD ready? No, it isn't. That's not finishing in time. The nuke is flying over. Almost all base personnel has been evacuated. And there it goes. The nuke for branches, absolutely destroying Wawa's base. All those nice T3 power generators that have been built with much love. Just gone now. A lot of mass, just poof, vanished into thin air. I think that's actually the worst thing that nukes do. The nuke radiance, I mean the nuke circle, there's no mass left whatsoever. In the meantime, Wawa is still ruling with his ASFs. I don't think that Francis has been able to recover. It's 45 against 86. No, he hasn't, but what is Wawa doing? He loses a lot of T2 torps in that little move. Francis, I feel Francis is more on top of the game sometimes. Then again, Wawa does have other things to do. Rebuilding his base, making enough build power to look at this, to make sure he doesn't throw away that mass. So he needs build power, he needs power so that he can rebuild his grid. And he's now actually here upgrading his air factory to T3. That SMD has almost been loaded, so that won't be a problem. Then again, I don't see an SMD here, so this base could be nuked. And now Wawa just sends in his T2 gunships. Look at this, all core mass for Sneed in his second base. The base that Shinobu left is gone. And well, just because you can, when Daybreak sends in a shitload of T1 bombers and he kills off 4 T1 power generators, yeah, why not? In the meantime, Nexus has absolutely destroyed the naval force for Grizo Man Island, almost in setters, and now Nexus is reclaiming everything here. Look at this. And I think the well, how do you call that? The invasion beginning. Yes, it is. All those missiles from cruisers killing off what can be killed off. The same is happening here. Look at the mass that Nexus is now sitting on. I think that may be a problem. Another point is that Nexus still has the core maxes here, and that Sneed doesn't. So they are one base behind, so to speak, so to say. Now Nexus is making a front base, not only in the sea but also on the land bridge. When Daybreaks has sent in his experimental battleship way more to the front, I think it has helped to destroy the base over here. And look at the recovery that When Daybreaks was able to make. I think partly thanks to the early air advantage that Wawa had, he was able to torp Sneed's naval to smithereens. Benches had to lay low for a little while. I think, yeah, now Benches does have air, but I'm not sure if he knows. He's too busy with well, destroying the front base that Nexus now made. The battleship for When Daybreaks is under attack, but this is what you do when you have a battleship that you don't want to lose. You just make it into a submarine. That absolutely helps. Still, he is having a hard time. I mean, a second experimental battleship will come out of the factory soon. He has a lot of T1 factories here, so a lot of reinforcements. Some reinforcement nearby, I mean, some T1 torpedo launchers are being made. And now Sneed is sending in T2 torp bombers. Wawa responds by sending in his air force, and finally Frenchius sends in his own. And what do we have here? An Awasa, which gets immediately scouted by Wawa, I think. Darkin says they have more ASF, save them, don't waste. And that's what Wawa does. Look at this, Frenchius is relentless. He just sends them after the main air force of Wawa. He sends in his experimental bomber a little bit later. And is he going to hit the commander? No, he isn't. He's going for the main base, I think. Oh man, I think he could have killed that one with even one or two shots. I think two. Wawa makes a turn, manages to keep his, what is it, main air force, zooms in on the Awasa. The Awasa leaves a bomb and it connects right onto the T3 base, which takes out the T3 power generator and the SMD which is connected to it. Oh my goodness, this game. What a crazy game, guys. Does this mean that the path is now free for the nuke? And I think it is. This SMD hasn't been loaded. There's no SMD here yet. That means that he could send one, right? I mean, it's loaded. Frenchius, don't wait too long, my friend. Don't you want to kill something here? Maybe he had hoped to kill this one, this SMD. I mean, he doesn't want to waste it. Maybe it's better to just kill off this base. Say a few T2 mass extractors. Okay, it's not too much, but at least it's something. Ridiculous amounts of ASF now for Frenchius. He's way up ahead. And Wawa is, well, it's 8 or 10 ASFs in his possession, and he doesn't have an airbase. I mean, this airbase was killed off, then this one with the Awasa shot. Absolutely gorgeous kill there, SMD kill there. Sneed is sending in 2 battleships in the meantime to kill off the remaining base for When Daybreaks. He's also relentless in pushing. I mean, he has been pushing all the time. And finally no torps for Wawa, so nothing here to stop him. But in the meantime he has to defend against incoming units from Nexus. I mean, he has made the, what is it, ultimate spam base. Let's look a bit at the base queues. Just He's even building mech marines, I think, just as cannon fire. Engineers, tanks, artillery. Well, let's see what's going on here. He has now made another proxy base. Just dropped T3 engineers here, makes T3 shields, starts another frontal spam base, starts Ravagers. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is legit. And that experimental bomber that Carrizo is building, well, will it hold? We're gonna find out in a minute. Sneed still pushing. He's actually now managing to kill the factory grounds here. The harbor, it's killed off 6 factories. That one goes down. All those poor, sweet, poor red NGs just won't survive another day. They won't be going back to their mummies. Absolute destruction, everything is on fire. Just like a movie. Teleporter started for Sneed now. Are we going to see some naughty telemaser teleporter action? Well, I think so. He does have the maser on his chest. See that hole? Or the LED light. But that is meant for sending out a 10,000 degrees telemaser beam, which absolutely destroys everything in its path. Rizzo Man now walking back a little bit. He's actually going, I think, for French's base in a minute. He's completely overrun. Nexus sends in his light artillery to mop up the rest and stop the Awasa build. French's has absolutely ridiculous amounts of ASFs. Okay, it's not much for the normal Setons game. I mean, sometimes you see like 500 or 600 ASFs in each team. I mean, I've seen it. But still, compared to Wawa, it's quite the difference. I mean, 250 units, I think. Now he has stopped making ASFs. He's just building strategic bombers, so... Oh my. He has the air advantage, so why not? In the meantime, Sneed is making the gun speed and range, finishing up his naughty strategic plans. When Daybreak's doing his best to stop the invasion, he's really into laser production. Look at this, how many assault tanks. And you gotta give it to this guy. He has been holding on all this time to his 4 maxes. He keeps rebuilding them, making T2 RTs to counter the naval invasion. And I mean, he has been killing off shitloads of units here. I think only with the RTs here. But now, when Daybreaks is just out of the water, so too late for him. How is Sneed doing? He is. Oh man, he's teleporting. Look at this. The red light teleporter backpack. He is going. But where? Carrizo under attack from Nexus. His mobile artilleries. A Spectre for French's is trying to mop it up. Look at this. French's sends forth his enormous ASF army and his bombers. He misses the commander. I think. Does he? He won't make it. He does! Oh my goodness! And when day breaks, just he can't micro to micro that. Just that sudden turn, the 5 or 6 struts in a minute. At the same time, Sneed teleports in the back. He kills off 2 core maxes. I have to keep an eye on the bombers here. The few ASF that Wawa had get killed off by Francis, and Sneed just absolutely destroying the ruins which Wawa recently had rebuilt. Francis holding the bombers back a little bit. He's trying to kill this off. Nexus, what is Nexus doing? In the meantime, Francis building a ridiculous amount of T1 bombers, trying to push back the invasion. Sneed is making rhinos. Some T1 bombers for Wawa, trying to kill the commander, Sneed's commander, which is at 5 stars now. Nukes being launched from submarines that Nexus built. Can this game get any crazier? It's headed for Sneed's base, and Sneed, does he have an SMD? I don't see any. There it is. It's actually in the water. I mean, at the beach. Well, in the Netherlands we have also many SMDs right in the sand. The beach, the shores. No, I'm kidding. Doesn't seem a good place for an SMD, but whatever. It's, Sneed doesn't care about that now. He just cares about his commander. I mean, oh my goodness! SMD kill by Francis. That one SMD had a few bombers that he had. He launches a nuke. That nuke that he has been keeping back the whole time. There's another one loaded. Nexus, does he have more SMDs? He has one here. I don't think he has one here. Haven't seen one. Nexus in the meantime has built a Novex center. Still some bombers left. Sneed sends in T2 fighter bombers, Corsairs. The nuke is also approaching. The Corsairs protected by Francis, his air force. Oh no, there's another SMD with 2 loaded Oni. I mean, Sneed sends in his Corsairs, but the nuke gets taken out of the sky. Oh my goodness, he's too late. Will the SMD even die? I don't think it will. Francis sends in a second nuke. Oh my goodness, can this game get any crazier? The nuke has been killed off by Nexus, his defense satellite. So Francis, I think he was loading this one for the third time over. Francis can send a third nuke now. And this one, Sneed teleports right beside Nexus's base, gets taken out by T2 point defense, and he just, I think he was after the SMD, the nuke from Nexus, I mean from Francis. Yeah, it gets taken out of the sky by the SMD. It's now almost loaded again, but my goodness, what a game. Sneed is out of the game, killed by Nexus. Francis, well, I thought I saw something going down in the chat. Look at this frustration from Team 2, and I mean, my goodness, you can imagine. I mean, what a game. This naval point has been won by Team 2, but the other by Francis. And Francis also has been pushing relentlessly. I think that's a Contra-K for Francis, or he has been killed by the satellite. At least the message says it was a Contra-K. And Nexus, I think Nexus saves the day. Grizo man is left. He's, yeah, what is it? Running for his life. And while he's running, he contracays. If you want to see another Night Setons games with some crazy air moves and other good stuff, just click the next video.